Hey everyone, welcome back to another conference tournament prediction video. I want to note real quick, I'm not gonna have my camera up. I'm tired. I just want to lay down, and I'm using a microphone here so I can pretty much lay here and make these predictions for you guys. We have the SEC tournament to predict now. After this, four more conferences to go through. I'm excited to go through the rest of this with you guys. The SEC's been a very interesting conference this year. Of course, none of us really saw Alabama becoming the top seed or basically the overall best team in the SEC. I mean, Arkansas, I had a slight feeling Arkansas would be good, then I kind of was down, and then I'm back, and it really has grown on me that with the fact that the Razorbacks are really looking like a very deep, can make a deep run in the NCAA tournament. But I really thought Tennessee was going to be down to Tennessee, Kentucky. But let's go through each team really quickly. But first, Auburn is not playing in the tournament because of a self-imposed ban. So they've had violations that came up earlier in the season. So that's why Auburn is not playing in the tournament. We have Alabama as the top seed. They have been pretty phenomenal this year, although as of late they've not played great. They're still dangerous. Arkansas is the second seed. They're the hottest team right now in this conference, no question about it. LSU a three. I'm surprised LSU's even a three. Their defense is atrocious, but they do have a great offense. But they can't defend their save their life. Tennessee a four seed. They've struggled at times too, but Tennessee known for their defensive ability. If they can play some amount of offense, I think Tennessee's definitely much better than what we think they could be. The fifth seed's Florida. Florida, of course, had the Keontae Johnson scare there earlier in the season, and Florida's really tried to hang in there at Castleton. And those guys, they've had to spread out the floor more, but they can play big. Florida is a team that, when it comes time for the NCAA tournament, like when you boil it down, they generally perform well in the NCAA tournament. Six-seeded Ole Miss. Ole Miss swept Missouri. They have been sneaky this year. If there was a lower seed that can get to the SEC tournament, it's Ole Miss. Same with Missouri. Missouri hasn't looked great. They started off really good this year. They beat Oregon, then they beat Illinois. They've been picking up. They picked up some really big wins, and then they really struggled down the stretch. Jeremiah Tillman didn't help. He was out for a few games. Even when he was in the lineup, they lost to Georgia. It was kind of bad. I mean, Missouri even lost to LSU in the final game of the regular season, so I'm not sure where Missouri's mentality is at this point. Kentucky, gosh, Kentucky's had a horrible year. Mississippi State's the 9. Georgia's the 10. South Carolina the 11. Vanderbilt 12. And Texas A&M is the final, or is the last seed in the SEC. Let's start with the first round, which is on March 10th. The championship is on March 14th. Vanderbilt, Texas A&M. I'm taking Texas A&M. I it doesn't really matter to me who's gonna win that game. They're gonna lose the next game anyway, most likely. Second round, Kentucky, Mississippi State. Kentucky has to win this game. I think they'll find a way to win. They have picked it up a little bit more lately. I mean, they just bombed Tennessee, and then they really bombed South Carolina, I believe is who it was. Florida, Texas A&M, Florida, I think, will win there. I don't think it's even close. Missouri and Georgia. Georgia beat Missouri, but I think Missouri, I think they're going to figure it out. They definitely can get it together. Like I said, Tillman in the lineup is important. He's really big and physical in the middle, or should I say under the rim especially. You get Pinson going. Missouri's definitely more dangerous than what they usually are, but that they can be. Ole Miss, South Carolina. Ole Miss is not great offensively, but they do play some stingy defense at times. I just have not liked South Carolina. They have looked absolutely atrocious at times. I just cannot see the upset there. Alabama, Kentucky. Alabama swept Kentucky during the SEC regular season for the first time since 1989. I don't expect anything less. I think Alabama is going to sweep Kentucky basically through here again. They're going to beat them a third time, I think. And Kentucky's hopes of an NCAA tournament appearance are going to fade into the darkness pretty much. Tennessee, Florida. These two teams split the regular season. Florida just destroyed Tennessee the first game, but then Tennessee got into the defensive roots and kind of shut down Florida. I'm gonna go Tennessee here. I think I've been leaning more towards Tennessee lately. I was originally gonna pick the slight upset here, but Florida has. I know that they were in a close one with Missouri, but I feel like Florida could have really won that game there against Missouri. I mean, Tennessee, like I said, Tennessee definitely is better than this. They got a younger team, but I mean, still, they got a good coach in Rick Barnes. Arkansas, Missouri, this is a possible upset. Arkansas's been very hot. Now, both of these teams split the regular season. Missouri beat them the first time around, and then Arkansas beat them the second time around. If you're looking for a lower seed to get to the championship, it's Missouri, especially. I like Missouri more than Ole Miss to get to the SEC finals, but I mean Arkansas's due for a loss soon, but I can't pick Missouri. It's gonna be very close. LSU, Ole Miss. I don't know who's gonna win. LSU beat Ole Miss by 14 earlier in the year, but Ole Miss. I haven't liked LSU's defense, and Ole Miss can definitely score. It's just not often they score a bunch. I I'm gonna take LSU. I was gonna take the upset there, but last second decision has told me to pick LSU. Alabama, Tennessee. Now Tennessee beat Alabama much earlier in the year, but things have really flipped. So I mean Alabama I think will win that one. I think it's gonna be close, but Tennessee has to shoot well, and they just can't do it at times. Arkansas, LSU. I mean, our LSU kind of pushed Arkansas the last time they faced. I think they only lost by 8 when they last faced each other, but Arkansas, like I said, they've looked really good. And this is a rematch from about a week and a half or so ago when Arkansas beat Alabama by 15 or 16 points in Arkansas, but this time I think Alabama's going to get revenge on Arkansas. If Alabama can work around those slight offensive issues they've been having, they're like having a point. They're like averaging less than 1 point per possession, and that's just uncharacteristical of Alabama. They're a very fast team that could score a bunch of points. One problem, they do have some good defensive capabilities. They could defend the three well, but it's just they allow 70 points a game. That is an issue a little bit for sure. I mean, they let teams get close at times, and that scares me a little bit. But we'll see what happens. The SEC definitely could get a little explosive. I mean, like I said, Missouri. I wouldn't even rule out Kentucky, but at this point, Kentucky looks just I don't know, man. But you never know what you're gonna get. Like I said with the Pac-12 video, you never know what you're gonna get. But thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this. The next one coming up is the Mountain West. So I'll see you guys then.